Hello everybody and welcome back to another Subnautica video, and today I'm going to be showing you the best tips and tricks that you can use to progress through your storyline in Subnautica. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So to begin, I recommend that you craft the standard O2 tank, as this increases your oxygen from 45 up to 75, which will let you dive to deeper depths, and it doesn't cost that much to craft. As you can see, you can craft it here in the fabricator for only 3 titanium. The high capacity O2 tank is unlocked after crafting the standard O2 tank and increases your oxygen from 75 up to 135, which will allow you to explore much deeper into the ocean and explore those deep sea wrecks that you would normally die trying to explore as you run out of oxygen. Crafting the high capacity O2 tank doesn't require that much materials, only 2 glass, the standard O2 tank, 4 titanium and 1 silver ore. So for the next tip, and that is always carry spare batteries with you when you're going on a long journey. This is because if you run into a sticky situation, like you run into a Reaper Leviathan and your Sea Glide runs out of power, there's nothing you can really do. So having spare batteries on you will allow you to avoid this situation. If you ever run out of battery power in your Sea Glide on a journey and you don't have any spare batteries with you, well, there is one solution. You can take a battery out from one of the other tools and swap it out for the one in the Sea Glide. Another useful tip is if you're finding your batteries are running out of charge all the time, you can create a battery charger in your base that will charge up your batteries for you using your base's power. The battery charger is unlocked after scanning 2 battery charger fragments, which can be found in shipwrecks. These shipwrecks will be much easier to find and explore if you use the oxygen tanks like I explained in the last tip. Batteries are crafted from 2 acid mushrooms and 1 copper ore. Seeing how cheap this recipe is, you can probably get quite far in the game without actually using a battery charger, but it is definitely very useful and I would highly recommend crafting one. So the next tip I have for you is to place a beacon, so you can find your way back to places that may be hard to find again. For example, your base, shipwrecks or other biomes. The fragments for the beacon are very easy to find, and you can even rename them and change the colour of them as so. Beacons are crafted from 1 copper and 1 titanium, so they're very easy to make. For the next tip, I recommend that you eat your cooked fish straight after cooking it, because otherwise it will go old and mouldy over time, and this will actually end up decreasing your food and H2O, which is very counterproductive. If you want your food to last long enough to last a long journey, you can always cure it, as this will make the fish last forever, so it won't go bad. If you do decide to go on a long trip and take cured fish with you, make sure you bring enough water, because otherwise you may begin to get really thirsty and dehydrated. For the next tip, I recommend that you craft the radiation suit as soon as possible. Crafting the radiation suit allows protection against radiation, meaning more locations can be explored and the Aurora can be boarded safely. This suit is very easy to craft, only requiring 2 fibre mesh and 2 lead. You also automatically unlock the blueprint when the Aurora explodes. The next tip I have for beginners in Subnautica is don't go near the back of the Aurora, because otherwise you'll be in for a very nasty surprise when you find a Reaper Leviathan lurking back here. There we go, you can see him there. Terrifying as always. But yeah, under all circumstances, I really do recommend staying away from the back of the Aurora, as this place can be very, very dangerous. Although, if you do explore over this way and you have the radiation suits, you can see that there are many fragments along here if we can find any. But generally, if you just follow this ridge along here and you have the radiation suit, you can find quite a few useful fragments, as well as storage containers here, which will have things like bottled water, nutrient blocks, etc. Another tip I have for you is to use indoor and exterior grow beds to grow rare plants, or plants that may be hard to find in the wild naturally. Once you've found them, you can actually place them in these planters, and they'll grow into their larger counterparts, which means you can also take the parts from them that you need. plants I like to put in these grow beds are things like blood kelp and gel sacks, as gel sacks are found very deep and blood kelp is just quite rare and it's much easier if you just grow it yourself. The indoor grow beds can be used to plant trees to produce fruit for you so you don't have to go and hunt for food as often. The indoor grow bed can be crafted using 4 titanium using a habitat builder. The exterior grow bed, on the other hand, only requires 2 titanium, which is half what the indoor grow bed requires. So, on to the next tip, and that is to build the alien containment unit. In here, you can put your creature eggs, like I've done here, and when they hatch, they'll turn into mini versions of their wild counterparts. You can also use the alien containment unit to breed your fish and other species, and these fish make lovely base decorations. To craft the alien containment units, you need to find the blueprint first in a data box, and after that you need 5 glass and 2 titanium, and craft using the habitat builder. And for the last tip, I recommend that you build the scanner room, as this will allow you to find things much quicker, such as shipwrecks, fragments, and other ores and resources that you may need to progress in your Subnautica story. The scanner room fragments must be scanned first before obtaining the blueprint, and once you've obtained the blueprint, use the habitat builder to craft this, using 5 titanium, 2 copper, 1 gold and 1 table coral sample. You can also craft upgrades for the scanner room, such as the scanner room HUD chip, extra camera drones, range upgrades and speed upgrades. The scanner room speed and range upgrades allow you to see further and find items more quickly, and the HUD upgrade allows you to see exactly where the resources you're trying to find are. So as you can see here, I can find these limestone chunks very easily. One last final tip before we finish up, and that is to craft the fins when you've just started the game. This can easily be crafted using 2 silicon rubber and will enhance your swimming speed by approximately 15%, which is actually pretty good, especially when you're holding other tools. 2 silicon rubber can be crafted from 1 creepvine seed cluster, which are quite easy to find. If you just head outside and look for these kelp formations, these yellow pustules here are what you need to collect to craft the silicon rubber. That's it for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and make sure to stay tuned for the next video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.